a lot of.
Absolutely. Underway here in just a few seconds, and we do have the
we have sprite shuffle.
Randomized start screen you can get, and we have sprite shuffle, and so we have our runner's going to be attacking with meat throughout. So sword is in its normal location. We do not have any bonus candles, so they will actually have to find a candle shop or the red candle somewhere in order to burn anything. It's rupee bombs, which are the any key. So sprite shuffle is one of the things that we mentioned. A lot of the sprites will be something else, so we're going to help prices and locations on that sub menu. So should be interesting as well. It also does not seem like our overworld enemies are shuffled at all.
Nor does it seem that overworld HP enemies are shuffled. And I would like to point out, if you see the fireballs that the Zola is firing, we have flute fireballs.
Fireballs
we've
are always
got
great.
blackout.
Yeah, and we have blackout. Now, luckily for the runners, they know what levels they'll be in because they're at their vanilla location. Unfortunately for the shapes, and we know our Triforce is going to be double arrows now.
Yeah, so this is quite an interesting development here, and the arrows are being shot out as boomerangs, so I am always a fan of that.
The only thing is if Ganon fire the magic boomerang to kill the beast.
Which is disappointing, but I guess we can deal with that. Now, we do have a second quest overworld.
That is interesting because it will actually push our dungeons to their second quest locations, with a few of them being swapped. So on second quest, you normally have level 2 over at the Armos and level 3, where level 2 is on first quest, but level 2 where normally 3 at that blue ring Armos instead. And there's a few others like that.
Yep, so we have a staircase here in what we believe to be level 1, Rick lighting it up with that bomb. So that tells me it looks like we are in shapes here, perhaps?
Yeah, we are definitely in shapes. We could tell that just because of the starting flute. But yeah, because of the starting location, we are a little bit further right than where we would normally enter on level 1. So that definitely confirms shapes. And we do have a segmented one. And now we have Caracarn in level 1 as well.
Yeah, and these rooms right here that you see Rick in, that is going to be one of the worst things about Blackout, is because Zols, and hey, look, we have the red candle as the map, and we also have candle rangs. What I was going to say, though, is with the Zols and gels blending into the room, Blackout makes them impossible to see.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Blackout was actually accidentally discovered while playing around with the dungeon palette, and actually see dungeon is either with a bomb explosion or by taking a death. If you exit from a you will also notice that you do catch a quick glimpse, but those are the only ways that you'll be able to tell what room you're in.
All right, so Blue Candle, looks like it's playing the role of Blue Ring here tonight. That's the only thing that's going to cost 250 plus rupees there. So we also have another Blue Candle here underneath, and that is the magical boomerang that is going to be our Armos item.
Rick is still exploring level 1. He is looking for that second staircase to find his other item. Or actually, no, he didn't find either item.
No, he was trying to kill that gel, that's the word I'm looking for, to get a key clip, but was unable to do that because he couldn't find where it was located.
He can access the room anyway, though, from going from beneath. And Caracarn, I'm not sure he knows quite yet that it is second quest overworld?
He does, because he was the one who discovered level 3 being the second quest version, so he does know it's second quest overworld. And there we go.
Or I should say vanilla.
Magic swords.
I should say vanilla second quest overworld.
Well, he does now.
Absolutely.
So with Blackout here, the biggest thing now I'm looking forward to seeing is where that expensive magic shield shop is going to be, because if this is a boomstick seed, then we have a thing. Oh, Rick's found the staircase, and we found the meat. More meat.
So we'll see what this meat is in just a second.
That is the recorder spot,
yeah.
if I can correct.
Yes, that is definitely the recorder. So Rick finds an early recorder in one, which is actually great because that the second quest overworld.
Yeah, that's actually really, really huge here.
We do have Caracarn making his way back into level 1 as well. There is cheap bombs, only 6 rupee bombs, so they will at least be able to replenish their bombs rather easily. So that is one thing going for them, but they definitely would like to find a book in one of the shops, which would.
Right, and because the other big thing again about boomstick, as you mentioned earlier, is bomb explosions light up the rooms. With a boomstick, that's infinite effective candles.
So far from doesn't look like we have any shuffle on enemy HP.
It does not look like that at all to me either.
I'm trying to figure out what the floor item was.
It was a piece of regular meat. As Rick does pick up the first Triforce here of the match with the double blinking power bracelets, and Caracarn is right behind him, but no.
Drakados may be correct. That may have been the magic shield. No, Cooper. And yes, it was the magic shield, so we have a boomstick seed.
That's the only thing it could have been, yeah.
So we now have Rick heading over towards, it seems, 3, perhaps? It looks like that's where he's going to be heading. We do have Caracarn still digging in level 1.
Yeah, well, it makes sense that he's heading over this direction. He has the recorder, and even though it's technically, you know, level 3, the game is going to read it as level 2. So,
correct. I mean, level 2 will be relatively small. Next to level 1 in shape's normally the smallest level, or one of them.
Yeah, Rick now just realizing with that bomb of Monocle Rock, this is second quest overworld.
But, I mean, it's, you know, we'll be able to locate that a little bit easier than steps as well.
Right, so the big thing to remember at this point is we are in second quest overworld. which means there is only one large secret. So conservation of resources is going to be a huge thing here again. And Rick deciding to not do level 2/3 here from the beginning. Looks like he's going to go to the other 2/3 that's up in the Armos section of things.
It is Mixed Quest. Maybe if he hasn't pieced together that, bought. He only bombed Monocle Rock, and that's the only thing he's seen that isn't first quest. But if he figures out, hey, supposed to be, dungeons won't ever be naturally set to their locations in Mixed Quest.
Right, so once he comes up here to the next thing, and he is going to go ahead and find the blue ring shop. And yeah, that blue ring shop confirms right there with 111 rupee wooden meat that it is in fact a boomstick seed.
We have, what is the magenta level 3?
And oh, this room is not fun. We've got a shoot room. This room would be a little bit more tolerable if Rick got a heart, but without having a good source of projectile way to destroy these dark nuts, this is a pretty hard room to deal with.
Now, it is possible. He's actually going to use going spawns if he can by exiting and re-entering, hoping that they spawn in a different location, either in the middle or up top. Into the blocks below and actually swing your sword and still hit the enemies when they're along the top. But that is extremely to do, and even more.
Yeah, in case we weren't sure, we do have confirmation on CaracarnVI's side that that piece of meat was in fact the large shield. Can I say that having the meat be the large shield gives a whole new meaning to the term meat block?
Actual meat shield.
All right, so continuing on, Caracarn still looking for the second item in level 1, which we know is the recorder, as Rick is making his way through what the game is going to call level 3, but what in reality is level 2. We have another compass find here for Rick.
Rick is... Okay, I was going to say Rick may be in Double River or Black River room, but no, he was just in the Reverse Sea room, so...
And so now the game that we play is find which direction we're going, and Rick does find the correct way to go, bombing up, going to give him at least a little more pathing to go here. And, ooh, we have a reverse C room, so this might be the item room here, and that could be the best thing for Rick, getting items early, always a good thing. But instead opts to go through the key door. Oh no, there was a bomb drop in that room. Never mind, I missed the bomb drop initially.
Does take the unfortunate death, so has to go back to start and continue to try to find his way through, and unfortunately have to deal with these red darknuts again, and the double troll bombs up above. I'm sure he now.
That was 4 troll bombs there. So that tells me we had a 6 on the global, an 8 on the global, a 1 on the global, and one of those was the 10th consecutive. And Caracarn dies in the item room, so at least he now knows where that item room is.
Sports Cafe, if there is a required push block, so that's like the single block rooms or the double block rooms, if there's, or a required push block, if there is an item drop or a shutter door, there will be no staircase in that room.
Hey, we've got a bomb upgrade there. Looks like with the normal bomb upgrade price, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the normal 4 bombs, but statistically speaking, there's a very good chance of that being a thing. Looks like okay, Rick is in the diagonal rooms. Could have been the vertical shoot room, but nope, just opts to be the diagonal room instead. Caracarn putting his candle ring to use here.
Unfortunately, combat and the enemies are opting for melee.
At least he does now know the trick with these is to go ahead and, when you enter the room, see where they spawn.
Compared to seeing all the bomb drops in that shoot room.
And that is going to be the second item for Caracarn here. He's going to realize, hey, wait, this just looks like another piece of meat, but we know for a fact it's the meat whistle. And I know that's a horrible phrase to say, but it's the piece of meat that looks like the recorder, or that is the recorder, so that's what it is. There's nothing more I can say about that.
Also, I would like to say that level 3 has, because it's shaped like a 2.
And speaking of that, we're just going to have a Triforce obtained by AdirondackRick, giving him a lead of 2-1 in the Triforce category, but as we all know, that means nothing in this game.
So it does seem like Rick has finally picked up that he level 7 is on first quest, knowing, well, there's nothing there on second quest.
Rick here looks like he's trying to get the Lost Woods clip. Has a little bit of trouble with it, and opts to say, nope, I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to go up, left, down, and left. Now, here's a question I want to ask you when it comes to something like this, Krim. At what point in failing your screen wrapping do you choose to do that?
Very rarely when I am wrapping to skip either that or the Lost Hills. Normally, if I 3-4 seconds trying to get a screen clip, I'll just give up and start the walk.
Well, either way, we have made our way into the grave and a nice, blue. I'm not sure if it's sky blue, but level 6, and we see everybody's favorite enemy set in here.
So Caracarn opting to nope on out of 3 a little bit earlier than Rick did. Just doesn't want to deal with the dungeon right now with what he has.
Rick gonna go ahead and pick up a magic sword heart container. That's always fun.
Also, thing this is level 6, has the Wizrobe set in it. We've seen 3 with the Dark Nuts and 1 with the Gria set. So I say it's and Rick is locked in a vertical river room.
Yep, there's not a darn thing he can do about that, so he's going to have to up A and continue on to the right side of the dungeon here. He's got another path he can go for. It looks like Caracarn opting to go back into level 3 now. He's been slightly better equipped with more exploding key bombs. But yeah, this is definitely a very interesting call by Rick here, opting to choose to explore what in shapes especially can be one of the more terrifying dungeons to explore from a length perspective, and that is level 6. Because of the first 6 dungeons, 6 tends to be the largest, and then you have 7. Honestly, 7's the scariest one in most situations, but 6 is probably scarier than 7 when it comes to being in shapes.
Yeah, and what makes 6 even scarier is he's going through it right now with 5 hearts and wood sword with Wizrobes. So that's just not fun at all. No, a lot of times in shape 6 will actually tend to outrank 7 in terms of size. So yeah, I question spending too much time in here. Maybe just doing a quick explore to see if you can find the item early, but...
Well, there's another thing to keep in mind here, Krim. If you go back to Rick's final race in the Swiss round, that was where another seed where everything was in its normal location, except it was a vanilla first quest location instead of vanilla second quest. So we knew where everything was. Rick opted to do an early dive into 6, and the information he acquired from being early into 6 was what actually won him the seed. So you have to factor in that that could be something he's thinking about.
Right. And hope that Caracarn doesn't go to 6 early and that he does find some of that information. But I think he's making the right call by abandoning 6 right now and going to explore elsewhere for the time being.
Yeah, but interesting thing, Rick doesn't push the correct block there in the graveyard, so he's going to be leaving with 1 less heart than he could have.
Now, neither runner has even tried to make their way up to the item. Know if it is indeed the white sword or not, but Rick did just get his candle ring, so he will have that at his disposal.
Yeah, Rick again noticed that we have another blue candle ring. So apparently meats and candles and keys are really what's owning the day here in Hyrule for shapes.
It does look like Rick is beelining. So...
For the white sword, yeah. I mean, it's the only thing he can get up here without the ladder or the power break, so he can't access 7 or 5. And interesting note, he's got the normal hints prices. Rick putting his candle ring to good use here, and Was that the actual ring? Or is that a power ring? Because if that was the power ring, then why wouldn't you just go right to 4 or 5 when you're right there? But Caracarn going to go ahead and pick himself up what would be the compass there in level 3. And Rick is going to go ahead to level 2. So again, we have another Guerilla set here as we see the magical candle rings. I am a little disappointed though, because seeing the wooden colored candles being thrown around is always something that I find entertaining. All right, so we have both of our runners continuing here throughout dungeons. We have a Triforce location found for Rick here in level 2, but he's going to opt to continue on through to go ahead and find the item, which is definitely the right call, especially considering he knows he's going to need the ladder to get to one of the dungeons. He also knows he needs a candle to open up one of the dungeons as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we can end up finding here. The other interesting thing of note for Rick here is he seemed to be, well, nope, he wasn't in a block room that was cutting him off. He was just, having issues moving there and ends up getting sniped by the blue candle ring of the orange Link. Not the Guerilla, but the Link. All right, so both of our runners at this point now are exploring their respective dungeons that they are in for items. Caracarn is here exploring level 3, whereas Rick is continuing his exploration of level 2. They are basically on the same page, Rick having 6 hearts to Caracarn's 5, Rick having 1 key to Caracarn's 0. Aside from that, they are pretty much even neck and neck. The big advantage that Rick has right now is he went up to get the white sword item, which we believe is the power bracelet. That's going to be the map here. And this is quite the interesting level 2 for Rick. And Caracarn seems to have found the item room, but dies on his way in. So we're going to figure out what that item is here momentarily on Caracarn's side. Looks like Rick was in another block room there, the 6x2. And Rick can have to be very careful here, utilizing the recorder for, I think, the wrong reasons. Didn't realize it was the recorder there. Again, gonna have to be very, very careful here on the half a heart strats. Unfortunately for Rick, does not find the item he's looking for laying on the ground here in this room. Instead, finds a measly, paltry 5 rupees, but does go ahead and block the candle ring from that Guerilla, and does get another 5 rupees for his trouble. Caracarn's going to hopefully make his way back to the room where he died that had the staircase, and that was an interesting looking mini map there from AdirondackRick. Looked as if level 2's normal shape. It looked like the moon. But Rick again being very cautious, putting his candle rank to good use here, stunning the gorillas, just being very, very conservative, but playing very, good on the conservative chain when it comes to only being on half heart. Caracarn again being tempted by the bomb upgrade that only has 94 rupees. 6 more rupees, and I guarantee that bomb upgrade is something he's definitely looking into getting. Caracarn unfortunately does get the clip in the diagonal, but unfortunately clips himself right into a Dark Nut hug. That is never fun. So Rick now has found himself in a bit of a pickle. He either has to find the staircase, which is going to get him over to the left side of the dungeon, or he has to figure out what room has the drop he's looking for, because he's already found the staircase. So again, we see this horizontal shoot room being an absolute pain in the tushka here for Caracarn. Has only his 1 bomb left to use, does manage to get it, but only gets nothing good for his reward and his trouble. Caracarn is now going through with no bombs, so he's going to have to be really careful here. Rick is not Goma blocked from the staircase, J-Dard, because that Goma room has a shuttered door in it, so there cannot be any way for him to be Goma blocked in that particular room from a staircase. Looks like Rick was opting to potentially blow up that room to see what he could find, but decides against it. Now, this room coming up here directly above him, this one with the gorillas, he has the option to kill this room, and he has, again, he's hoping that he's going to get an item drop in this set of room stuff, so he doesn't have to worry about finding the staircase. Instead, only gets rewarded with a paltry 5 rupees. So now Rick's in a bit of a conundrum. But Caracarn goes down. He's found a double arrow, so that's either going to be a raft or a ladder. Yeah, so that is huge for Caracarn there. Getting the ladder out of level 3, if that's indeed what that was. And I do believe that's what it was here. If my memory serves me correct, and I'm waiting for my page load up, raft is on the far left side. So Rick delving out of 3 early and not picking that up is huge. Oh, that's interesting. We have a sword right here, and that was the ladder that Caracarn got. And oh, that's the red candle. Caracarn picking up the red candle on the coast, so that is huge. That now unlocks level 8 for Caracarn.
All right, tell me quick if my voice is good.
Well, I can hear you, if that's what you mean.
Okay, that's good enough. So I hope I'm back and that my connection's a little bit better this time.
Yep, so what you missed, Krim, is Rick dove around 2 for a little bit. Found the Triforce, didn't get anything too much from it. The item that Rick noped out of 3 for, though, was the ladder. Caracarn ended up picking that up, and the red candle was on the coast.
All right, so Caracarn definitely has better exploration now. He does have access to 7 and 8. He did decide to go into level 2 first. Not a bad idea because, it is a smaller level.
And he was kind of here.
Yeah, that too. My assumption is after this, he might go down to level 8 just to clear that out.
That's what I would be doing. Rick, on the other hand, is up here, and this is technically going to be level 5 because it's right up where up in the Lost Tales. So technically, it's 4 in second quest, but it's 5. But anyway, you get the point.
Yeah, it's about the same either way. But
Caracarn found the staircase in level 2, which is going to take him to the left side. I don't believe Rick found that or not. So this is a good find for Caracarn here.
definitely is. We'll be able to find out whether that Goma is really going to be necessary or not, because still a possibility that it is blocking the item.
Now this is a very interesting room. Caracarn can no longer leave to get the respawns of these gels, so now he has to just blindly fire around this candle ring and hope he gets something.
I was not keeping count of how many he's killed so far, so
I believe he's got one more left.
and he
There it
finally
is.
does it.
There we go, we found it.
He's rewarded with Gurias. And the compass. So it seems to be that Goma might come into play in a little bit.
Yes. Yes, what we do know is that Goma has to be guarding the item because we've seen every other drop. The Triforce is out in its own room, so yeah, should be fun.
Here, rightfully choosing to still explore the rest of level 2. Unfortunately, will not be rewarded with anything, so he'll have to make his way back to the Triforce then.
Rick, unfortunately, spinning around in a circle there in level 5, as Caracarn is going to go ahead and pick up the Triforce in level 2. So that's going to put a 3 Triforce apiece for each of our runners. Caracarn, again, having the big advantage of having the ladder. Rick with the advantage of the white sword item, which was the red power ring.
Both runners right now do have access to a dungeon the other doesn't. However, when Caracarn does make his way up to level 7 eventually, he will be able to have the quick stop by to the White Sword Cave to grab the power bracelet, and he will also be right in the area for level 5 then. So definitely a slight advantage there on Caracarn's side.
Yeah, it's more than just a slight advantage, though, because you have to remember at this point, the ladder unlocked the red candle, which also opens up level 8. So Caracarn having that fire source as well puts him in a pretty good position, all things considered.
Right, and also the ladder is something that helps dungeon exploration a lot, and it is in the dungeon that Rick already opted out of. So he may be exploring a while to find the ladder, not realizing he has to go back to level 3 for it. So he is at quite a disadvantage right now. He has to hope to be able to clear level 5 quickly, and he actually upphase and saves, so he may be going back to... Oh, he went back to get some bombs.
Yeah, and
Let's see
take
if
a look
he
at that.
goes back to...
We found the boomstick. Not to interrupt, but we found the boomstick. The book is in the far northeast corner.
And Caracarn is not too far away from the price either. If I remember correctly, large secrets were 31, so he needs medium secrets were 31, so he needs a medium secret and 1 rupee to be able to afford the boomstick, and then of course the other counterpart, the wand.
Yeah, now that's going to be the trick, is finding where the wand is. Rick is opting to go back into level 3 again, which is the correct option, all things considered. But I find it interesting that this is the choice he's making right now. And Caracarn's like, wait a second, white sword items up here.
Yeah, Rick may feel that his exploration in 5 is being halted by that one vertical river room that he came across earlier. And instead of going back and trying to find a candle to purchase to access level 8, decided to go back into level 3 first. And we do have Kara opting to do level 5 before heading over to level 7.
I don't disagree with that option. I mean, all things considered, 5 is going to be slightly smaller than 7. So I definitely like the option of doing 5 before doing 7.
As Fred would say, in theory, it should be smaller than 7.
Right, theory again being the key words. Again, we have, this time looks like we have a gels room. And oh, that was a spiral staircase that Caracarn was in. But hey, apparently the old man likes to troll, telling Caracarn he entered the wrong seed.
Now, Rick did purchase the bomb upgrade. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be a randomized bomb upgrade, so he does only get the normal 4 bombs from it. If it's a randomized bomb upgrade in the blackout seed, you will actually have 4 to 8 bombs added to your inventory instead of the normal 2 to 6 that's randomized. So, unfortunately, they're not going to get many bombs out of it, but Rick felt that having the bombs right now was probably better, especially because he hasn't seen the book yet either.
I'm trying to figure out what he's doing here in this room. He knows this can't be a staircase because the shuttered door. What's he doing?
He's trying to clear out to gain access to the room to the right, I believe.
Came from that direction, I believe. But he just found out, oh, that's the room I need.
Yeah, so he should make a beeline for that room. He'll be happy when he finds out it's the ladder once he eventually gets there. But unfortunately, he's kind of tight on bombs right now because he wasted so many in that diagonal room.
He's going to go ahead and get rewarded here in the shoot room and using his blue candle ring to pick up a 4-pack. So looks like we have an NSU room there for Caracarn, just based on all the ladders being seen here. And based on where that item spawned, no, I thought it was a T room. I forget. We're in second quest. Speaking of being in second quest, because we're in shapes, though, we haven't seen all the second quest mechanics. So, second quest enemies do not appear to be on because we haven't seen Stalfos fire sword beams. And doesn't appear like walk through walls or second quest rooms that are on.
Yeah, I haven't seen many of those, or yeah, so we might just have normal first quest everything as far as dungeons go, other than shapes. Rick trying the very hard dark diagonal clip. Normally, people who play any percent will have a much easier time with that clip because you normally do that clip in a dark room in level 4. But he makes his way around, finally gets into the item, and sees 2 arrows, and is hoping that's the ladder.
And I'll be very happy to see that the location is in fact the ladder. So now both of our runners are going to have access to every dungeon except level 4. The raft is still in play because it's level 4 still has its normal location. Oh, Gleeok in an NSU room, that's never fun.
Oh, Rick actually forgot his minimap and thought he had the raft. So went to check level 4, realized that he can't check level 4 right now, so he will be going back to, it looks like 5, but he may also be making his way over towards the coast as well.
I know if it was me at this point, I'd be heading over to the coast just to see what the item was. Not that we can tell by looking at it, but I mean, it's actually kind of cool because it's got the white sword setup, but it looks like got the red handle, so it's really kind of cool.
Rick may still be a little lost in his exploration. He will get rewarded with a gift shop here, collects a heart container, but looks a little unsure as to what caves are in what locations on second quest still.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I don't know where caves are in second quest, so I don't fault him at all for that one. And it looks like you were correct. Rick going to go back into level 5, so we're going to get the pardon the pun here. No, it looks like he's opting to go instead to level 7.
Yeah, interesting call. He already explored a little bit more of 5, and could have possibly just gone through the rest of it, but instead does opt to go to the blue glowing level 7.
Now, the one good thing that 7 has going for it, Korea set.
And that could also possibly be why he opted for 7 over level 5, is he would rather fight Koreas right now than Dark Nuts, and maybe take a full health bar into level 5.
Adam might do the same thing. Level 5 right now is attacking Caracarn fiercely, almost as if his insides are filled with candy. We've got some bombs in the corner for Rick here.
And of course, never a fun room, having a lot of enemies that can slow down the screen with bubbles and Korea. So we do find a reverse seed room, so this could be the item. We'll see momentarily once Rick clears out the rest of these blue links.
All right, so we've got a staircase at least. This is optimistic. No, just a
And it's
staircase.
passage. And what do you know? More Gleeoks.
You see the room Gleeok was in right there?
Yeah, we have a double block room here, so this four-head Gleeok might be a thing.
Yeah, either it's going to be a staircase or it's going to be the item. I kind of hope it's a staircase.
My assumption usually when I play shapes is if I see a very early staircase, before I enter, I'm always going to assume it's just a passage to another part of the dungeon because, well, that's normally how it works out. Now, Rick has to be very careful down to half a heart of health with 3 Gleeok heads and the normal Gleeok head, all firing fireballs at him. One hit will be done. So, butt clench is real for
The
Rick.
dodging is real, right? Oh! Oh, no.
And on Caracarn's side, we do have him opting out of 5 for right now. Maybe debating whether to go to 7 or not. Instead, he up A's and heads back to start.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm quite interested to see where Caracarn's going to opt to go now. Oh, the bomb shot.
Oh, he's buying more bombs.
No, at 6 rupees a piece, bombs are not an awful choice at all.
Now, our runners are still looking for 2 key items on the overworld. They still have to get the bow and the raft. Other than that, I mean, they still have a lot of items at their disposal to grab because we haven't seen the item in 4, 5, 6, 7, or either the 2 items in 8 yet. So there's still quite a few items to be found. So
Yeah, we also don't know what's
this,
in 2 because it's Goma blocked.
yeah, and the 1 and 2, yeah. So we have a lot of items to be found and don't know where we'll see it. And another Gleeok death for Rick. So dragons eat gorillas quite a bit for dinner, it seems. And Rick also only has 1 bomb, so that's really going to limit his exploration of the rest of the dungeon as well. Caracarn bombing up in Death Mountain right now actually cost himself a few rupees bombing there when I think he is trying to farm some hearts right now to make eventual play at the magic sword.
I don't blame him in Blackout. I'd be doing my darndest to get to the magical sword.
And he is electing to go into 7 as well. So we are going to have more high fives between Rick and Caracarn.
Is that kind of like the high dying that Rick just did?
Yes, that.
So with this type of seed, am I inappropriate to put the total death count over under at 25?
I think that's very appropriate.
Are you taking the over or the under?
I'll take the over.
Fair enough. We do not condone gambling here. It is completely wrong unless it's legal in your state, and you must be over the legal age to do it.
What are you talking about? We have the money-making game. We totally promote gambling here.
I'm trying to be a responsible adult.
That would be a first.
We have Rick
So,
making yet another play at his
Rick
buddy
is
the
giving
Gleeok.
Rick is giving another shot at this Dragon Slayer thing. Caracarn opting out of the staircase.
Now, for the most part, you'll see a lot of people when they fight Gleeok stick to the right-hand side, and the reason for that is the Gleeok's hitbox is skewed to the right. And again,
Rick,
one hit away.
Oh boy.
Gleeok right now treating AdirondackRick like he's a government mule, just whipping him back and forth and back and forth.
Okay, so TG asked me if I took the over or under for 25 deaths in the seed, and I took the over. And the fact that we have 4 deaths between the 2 runners and 7 alone makes me feel like that is going to be the direction this goes. We do have Caracarn heading in the general direction of Gleeok as well, so he may attempt the Gleeok fight soon too. But he does find a bombable wall up into Gleeok, so 2 ways to get into Gleeok, but Gleeok will still find ways for our runners to make their way back to the start of the dungeon.
Yes. 2 ways to get there, still just 1 way to die. Yeah, this Gleeok right now, if you had Gleeok on your board of most deaths so far, you are doing really well in your fantasy high roll league. And Ampharos does bring up a very good point. Enemy sets are not shuffled. It's first quest dungeon enemy sets. We're gonna have ourselves a Wizrobe 9.
Right now, I have the feeling that 9 is the last thing on either runner's mind, rather than just wanting to get there.
Yeah. So I think, based on the way this seed is going, I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be a Z-Man seed.
No, remember, Trim dealt this.
Oh, that's
there was
right.
a lot of hugs involved.
Yes, that's right. I forget this one I'm not getting blamed for. And on another note, Caracarn is, 1 rupee away from the magical 200 plateau. 10 more rupees, he'll be able to afford the boomstick. And Rick making yet another try at the Gleeok.
Was doing really well, took 2 quick hits from one of the heads, and now is in the notorious beeping strats. Gleeok does not appear to have any sensitivity to the beeping, so he is still aggressively going after Rick.
Yeah, you'd think that... Oh, he... Oh, no! He killed Gleeok, but the last fireball got him! No!
And unfortunately, because Rick did not leave that room, Gleeok is going to respawn. That long pause is no doubt Rick just giving his Rick why.
I'm pretty sure that long pause is Rick wondering why he's doing this to himself and contemplating forfeiting the race.
Looks like he is going to grab one of the bonus items from the gift shop. I wonder if he's going to take the potion. And he does. Takes the potion so he can actually continue to tank that fight. Not a bad choice. It is going to leave him 1 heart shorter if he would want to try to make the play for Magic Sword later. But given how difficult the seed has been for him so far, I do not blame him for doing that. So we do have Rick filling up on health right now. He is going to no doubt make his way back up to level 7 to attempt the Gleeok once again. Now remember, we aren't absolutely certain that Gleeok holds the item. That could be just another passage staircase. It could just be absolutely nothing. It could be a standard double block room. So it's going to be interesting to see once he clears out Gleeok what that is. We do have Caracarn deciding to head back towards start. It looks like he might make a play for level 8 now. He is heading over in that direction. Not a bad play. Now it is Dark Nuts, so the enemy set's a little stronger in there, but it does contain 2 items, and one of those items might be something that he could really use to progress in the seed. Rick is making his way back through, taking out some of these ropes on his way to Gleeok, and with Beam Sword he will be able to attack from a distance, and that will make dodging the fireballs easier. Normally if you can get 2 to 3 heads off with Beam Sword, you're in good shape. He manages to get most of the second head killed with Beam Sword, so looks like he's doing a little bit better now. Does not have his potion prepared, but does not look like he's going to need it. Nope, he does take Gleeok out, and it is not a stair room. The double block does not go anywhere. So all that death to Gleeok is for naught. So Rick now will have to find out where else to go in level 7. Spends his last key to progress further in the level. So right now, I think the best thing Rick can hope for in this room that he is trying to clear out would be the map. With shapes treating him like they are right now, and we do get the map. So yeah, he at least has some sort of guidance on where to go, and we'll see what types of plays he makes, but he does not have any keys or bombs for exploration right now, so definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah, and Caracarn did manage to make his way into level 8 at the perfect time. He was at half a heart, so was able to up A and get himself back to 3 at least.
Now, I'm not sure, but did Caracarn just kill that Manhandla head with 1 sword swing?
Randomized boss HP?
Very possible.
It is
Yes,
randomized boss HP. That explains why the Gleeok is being such a pain in the butt.
Of course, this Manhandla is now doing its best Gleeok impression.
So for those of you who paid the extra money to get Manhandla and Gleeok in your fantasy Hyrule pool, congratulations to you.
So Rick now has 12 bombs, making his way back into 7 once again. By this point, he has invested so much time into this level, he is going to make sure he gets the item out of it before going anywhere else.
And with all the time he's invested into this, he is hoping and praying that it's either the raft that leads him to 4, the bow, or the silver arrows.
right now, knowing that there's still quite a bit that I need to find, I would actually be hoping for bow more than anything, because then I know I can at least go and purchase arrows and kill Goma for another item in 2. And just what Rick didn't want to see, another Gleeok. At least this one's only the 2-headed variety.
Only the 2-headed variety.
And Kara is still trying to track his way through 8. Definitely struggling with the deaths early on here, as we both runners have really struggled with a lot of deaths so far in this seed. Rick sees that this is the square block room, so there won't be a drop in here, but he still has to clear it out because of the shutter door. And, you know, has the troll fairy and everything else to go along with it. Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
And Kara in a diagonal passage, but dies before he can get in it. And what do you know? We have a 4-headed Gleeok, we have a 2-headed Gleeok, and we have a 3-headed Gleeok. And quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
But luckily, Rick can bomb up here, and there's a shutter door that goes right. So in this seed, we do not need meat. Well,
we have a bunch of meat as it is.
Whatever the meat is.
Meat's actually meat. Oh, and look, another 4-headed Gleeok. It's the family affair. We've got, you know, baby Gleeok, the 2-headed, mama Gleeok, 3-headed, papa Gleeok, the 4-headed, and oh yeah, grandpapa Gleeok, the other 4-headed.
And apparently, this Gleeok family is a family of flutists.
I see what you did there.
But Rick does finally find the item staircase, so he's going to go in here, and what do we have? We have something blue. It is a blue power bracelet, so...
it's the swans.
It is the wand. So Rick now has the capability, if he gets himself, 147 more rupees, to have a boomstick, which would be so great for him in the seed.
That was a huge find for him. Delving 7 turned out to be the right choice. He picks up the Triforce in 7, as Caracarn did pick up the Triforce in 8, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here right now.
Now, not only does that wand open up the potential ability to get boomstick for Rick, but it also does give him a lot better firepower to take on the Darknuts in 5, and it looks like he's making the beeline right for 5 to try to clear that out now. Now that he can do twice as much damage to these Darknuts, it should be a little bit easier for him.
Yeah, and at this point, can we say that the item that the wand shoots out is the perfect thing for this seed? Because we know we have the wand generates bomb explosions, so we have the boom stick, and it's firing out boom meringues.
Rick in a spiral staircase, but it is just the lovely passage to somewhere else in the dungeon. I must say that I like the wand beams when he fires them horizontally better, because it's almost like it's teaching TGE. Hey, look, it's the wooden boomerang. No, it's magical boomerang. But Rick having a lot easier time now with these enemies, so he is able to clear out quite a bit faster. My guess is after this, now remember, Rick still has not made a play for the ghost item either. So he will be able to get that, but I would imagine he would be going level 8 pretty soon.
only once he gets a candle. He still has no way of entering it. I mean, yeah, if he makes a play for the
but
ladder,
candle's
item,
close then.
absolutely. But he doesn't know that.
And wouldn't you know it, more Gleeoks.
Because that's the theme so far. We do know that Gleeok that Rick found was in the NSU room. Caracarn died in that one earlier. Big surprise, our runner's dying to a Gleeok. So it is interesting, we've got Rick exploring the rest of 5, whereas Caracarn is still delving through level 6.
Yeah, Rick opted out of level 6 pretty quickly earlier on. Couldn't blame him then. Caracarn, while he has more hearts, is not much better equipped for this. And, you know, a Blackout Wizrobe dungeon is never friendly, so...
A Wizrobe
sure
dungeon
how
you
much
can
time we'll
see is
spend in
never
here.
friendly.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much time we'll spend in here, but he does find the Triforce, which, if I'm him, I'm picking up that Triforce and leaving, and hoping I don't have to come back to the dungeon, but if I do, at least I can whistle close to there, and access it, because remember, even on second quest, you still whistle to the first quest dungeon location, so you'd actually warp to vanilla level 6, but that's only a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Unfortunately, Caracarn getting the deadly enter in from the left land, Landmola spawn, which is pretty much spells doom if you're at short, low hearts. Caracarn opting to go for the blind clips here.
Does manage to get it, and greeted with another staircase. Opts not to take it for now and just to continue exploring.
I see wizards on the other end. I'd be like, I'm not taking the stairs.
Yeah, especially without a visible door to take as well. Gets a clip again, and we'll be going somewhere else in the dungeon.
And Rick's like, thankfully, we've seen Triforce in their own room, so Rick's like, at least I don't have to kill another Gleeok.
And Kara is sort of getting trapped up there in between all the Wizrobes firing beams at him, so he takes a death. But he will continue to fight his way through level 6.
Yeah, Caracarn turning into the cream filling between the banana magic wand sandwich there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's arguments between the Wizrobes to which one actually killed him.
Oh yeah, it's just like your typical D&D party. I killed him. No, I killed him. Well, whose turn was it? Doesn't matter. I killed him. I set him up for you.
And he takes another Wizrobe beam, so definitely struggling right now, but continuing to dive. Rick is struggling a little differently. He's struggling to find out where to go. It looks like this is going to be a case of, you know...
Who knows where to go?
Looks like we have Carousel Horse.
I was going to say it looks like what happens when your windshield starts to spider.
That too. Or we can always just say cactus.
But we're not over on Jam's channel, so not everything has to be a cactus. But we do have is another Darknet death.
Ludicrous P Go, completely not the mantra to this seed. But we do have a heart container on Caracarn's side, so, and it looks like also possibly the item.
Unfortunately, the Wizrobe says,
get over there.
Nope. There's the Triforce for Rick in 5, so that's good. And there's the staircase room. There's the item.
So we're going to see the item in 5 and followed closely by the item in 6. So
It's Lord Banana.
We have here.
That's the wooden boomerang, just based on the color palette.
Fine. And I think Rick realized it as soon as he picked it up what it is.
We have a magic shield side here on Caracarn's side, so what is that gonna be? That's gonna be the bow! Bow is in 6!
Oh my. That's insane. So Caracarn's dig pays off. Rick's does not, even though Rick's was right by the Triforce room, so it wasn't really that bad of a dig. But
so here's the interesting thing there. Caracarn noped out of 8. Raph is either an 8 or it's blocked by that Goma in 2.
luckily, both are right by each other, so he knows he's going to have to make a play at one of those dungeons. I make the play for Goma first. Even though he may opt to go to level 8 because he's really close to the book too. So he may try to avoid buying arrows at all possible. Remember, he still has 5 to explore too. He may think that Raph may be in 5.
True, Caracarn still has to go back to 5 and 7. But I'm just saying what we know up here. Caracarn gonna go ahead and play himself a melody to get to Goma. Now here's the interesting thing. Okay, here's the interesting question. Say you're Caracarn and you go ahead and buy the book, and Rick just bought the meat.
Was he thinking that it was something else?
I don't know. Maybe he was thinking it was arrows, but arrows couldn't be that cheap. Say you're Caracarn and you buy the book, and it turns out that you need to purchase arrows to kill that Goma in 2 for the raft.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Rick believed that item was. It wouldn't have been blue candle because it didn't have the blue palette. Anything else he does not need of that color.
But he's going to go ahead and make his way into level 8 now, and this is going to be the determining factor here. Caracarn, not quite sure what Kara's doing here.
Is he debating buying bombs at that point?
You got 5 bombs. I mean, I don't know what you'd be debating about. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're okay right now.
I also don't know why he would be attempting a screen scroll right there. Screen scrolling to that screen would just steal half a heart for him. It's easier just to go down and go left to get to level 5.
However,
but now he's opting to...
I was going to say that Manhandla beating the ever-living crap out of Rick right now.
Maybe... I think he misremembers the price of the book.
Caracarn debating he's going to buy these arrows right now.
Not a bad purchase if he does.
Yes, no, yes,
the
no.
struggle is real.
Struggle is so... Yeah, Guzin goes ahead and buys the... That wasn't...
He does buy them.
That wasn't... That wasn't arrows.
But yeah, that was not arrows. That was the shield again. That's right. We did see the shield was me earlier. So he just bought his shield back. Yes, arrows would be the boomerang if I remember correctly. And
Arrows would be boomerang, you're right.
And we got him Wallmaster level 8.
Oh my. Actually, you know what that kind of looks like? You've played Kirby before, right? That looks like what happens after you kill Mr. Moon. And, well, we know what that is in level 8. That's the heart container.
Also, now in hindsight, another key thing that I have told Kara that wasn't arrows. Arrows won't ever be that high. Arrows will vary between 60 and 100 rupees. So, as if it's any surprise, we do have more Gleeok on level 8. And we also have Rick bombing out of a diamond staircase room and opting not to go back in it. Maybe he figures he'll come back to it when he heads back down that way or something. He's wondering if that is arrows, but we know it is not. Arrows would be just a boomerang hanging out in a shop.
Just chilling. Just chilling. Rick, another heart container. That does give him a 20% chance of picking up the magical sword, assuming hearts have been shuffled. If hearts have not been shuffled, well then, 0% chance. So now here's the interesting thing that we know of. Because we've seen most of the items, we know there's a 50-50 chance of the raft being arrow blocked. There's the arrow shop right there. Caracarn found it.
Luckily, he still has
That's
enough.
the candle,
rupees
Kara.
left
Don't
over.
go to. That's the candle. There you go. That's the one you want. There you go. There you go. Buy that banana rang. There you go.
And with the shield and the banana, the Goma will fall. So at this point, we're an hour 23 minutes in. Both have 5 Triforces. Neither has found the raft. Rick still has yet to find the bow. I mean, where do you feel you are if you're in either of these positions?
If I'm in either of these players' positions, I'm looking at the IRC, hoping and praying that I see a dot done so I can do dot forfeit. If you want my honest opinion.
And a lot of that has to do with the, by the way, beautiful manhandle kill there by Rick. A lot of it has to do with the caliber of players that we're dealing with here, because both of these players, are very, very good players. I mean, they have to be to get to this point in the tournament. So the fact that we are an hour, 25 minutes in almost, I have to be concerned with, what's going on, what's happening, why aren't I seeing something happening, all of that. So to me, I'm sitting there looking in there, I'm like, okay, just dot down already so I can get out of this monstrosity and forfeit. And because why not? Look, another Gleeok.
Absolutely. And since he's in chat, we can inform Fred that Hyrule has a Gleeok problem, so it might need fixed.
Yeah. This seed. I'm pretty sure Caracarn's thinking, why did I stop playing Quake for this? So I guess while we have runners, we're continuing to explore 8 and Caracarn continuing to blindly explore 5 here, I gotta ask you, Krim. You've got your match coming up for the brackets soon, this Saturday, as a matter of fact. Seeing this seed in front of you, does this scare the crap out of you?
No, because I'm not dealing my seed.
Okay, fair enough. Now, this compass here for Caracarn is actually going to be the best thing he could probably get, because it's going to tell him he has to go back to the start. And he's getting himself lost. You're in an NSU room, Kara. There you go, buddy.
Does see the bomb upgrade, can't do anything with it right now. So he does spend the key, will realize he can't progress any further. And when he makes his way back towards start, that's where the item will be. Unfortunately, it's not anything important.
No. But Rick has discovered the compass in 8, not that he needs that. So this is going to be fun. Rick has basically done a lot of the exploring here in level 8. He knows there's still at least one thing he's missing. So Kara now is playing the favorite game of Hyrule, which of course is Find the Bomb Hole.
At least he has a map which helps direct his position. If he didn't have the map, he would be in a lot more trouble.
Yeah, that compass is pretty huge.
Now remember, unless he's already found them, he still may come across 2 additional staircases, because this is a segmented 8, so it will have actually 2 separate passageways. I'm not sure if he found the second one. I know he's found the one that leads him to the bigger section.
Kara goes ahead and uses his last bomb here to unfortunately discover the wooden boomerang. He's gonna go pick it up because he's like, I don't know what this is anymore, but then he's like, oh wait, I know what this is. I am sad. Me personally, I'm happy because both runners have picked up the wooden boomerang in this seed.
And for neither did it appear in their inventory.
Let me have my victories, no matter how fearic they might be.
Rick able to get the clip, and it is the item.
It's the white
And
sword.
we might have the white sword.
We do have the white sword. The raft is Goma blocked in too.
So if Kara makes that play after level 7, it looks like he is going to go back to level 7 right now. If Kara makes a play for that over 8, he could be sitting in a good position. Rick, however, should know at this point he has to go back to level 6.
Right. Yeah. So everyone, Rick now knows that he has to get.
Which, with all the items that we now know as well, I think it is safe to say that it's going to be silver hunting in 9. The only items we have yet to see are silver arrows, the any key, and the red ring. So it's very possible that red ring and silvers are in their natural location.
At this point, we're looking at approximately what, a 75% chance of silvers being in 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'm
Probably
Caracarn, I
actually
absolutely
higher.
go make my way back to level 2 before I delve for level 8, because level 8 can be freaking gigantic.
Kara's grabbing more bombs.
Not the worst decision. We have our math students in chat correcting us. It is an 83% chance that the silvers are in 9.
Correcting you. I knew it was a higher percent. I just didn't want to do the math.
See, I do my math in every second equals 0.25 ounces, so that's the math I do.
So we do have Rick heading back towards level 6, which is the right call.
And I do love the fact that we have Whistle to Old Dungeons on here, which is great because Caracarn's able to whistle to 5, get the free heal from the Fairy Fountain that's in Second Quest 5, and then go into level 7 fully healed.
Well, regardless of what the whistle was, it would still take him to that, because with Second Quest Dungeons, it takes you to the first quest location. So that flag actually wouldn't be in play at all for this, but yeah, at least level 6 is close in Second Quest where it is in First Quest.
Rick taking a Wizrobe beam. Not one, but 2 Wizrobes. First one was a beam, the second one was a hug. Although I'm not sure if it was a warm hug or not.
Nah, I tend to think that Wizrobe beams are ice cold.
Well, that one's being slapped in the face with potassium, so...
And no, they are not both in 6 right now, ETAP. The light blue is level 6, the dark blue is level 7.
And I want to point out, look at the strats Caracarn's using for this Gleeok. Staying back, using his beams. This is beautiful. Oh, no!
Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, that despawn trick does not work on Gleeok.
And that Gleeok just, oh my. And Rick, actually a very efficient second trip through level 6, does manage to pick up the Triforce and the bow. So now Rick is on the hunt for arrows.
He blew some fire to the whistle at first, but send back to level 2.
Gleeok claiming another life. So again, if you had Gleeok...
when Rick defeated this Gleeok, but there's actually nothing in that room at all. So all that time spent on that Gleeok is for nothing.
Rick
and
did
Rick
find the arrow
bad
shot.
news that he does not have enough for arrows right now.
Rick is very disappointed. Caracarn
based on knowledge, once Rick gets the arrows, I would say he is ahead, Ruble.
Oh, by far, because Rick has already got the Triforce out of 7. He knows the raft is blocked by that Goma.
And he does get his secret, so he's going to purchase arrows, and it will be a very short trek to level 2. And then he will finally be able to go into level 4.
Caracarn going back to for round 2 versus the Gleeok. Caracarn's like, I got hit. Let's just space tank everything at this point. My favorite way to fight a Gleeok. Just get up close and personal and hope you survive.
Sometimes that's actually not the worst, because you could be in direct line to a fireball and accidentally bump into its head, which does a lot less damage. But unfortunately for Caracarn, that strat does not work, and he takes another death to that Gleeok. So that Gleeok is definitely doing Ganon's dirty work for him.
Gleeok scoring all the fantasy points this week. But here's the Goma. Now Rick, just took a look at his map. He's like, wait a second, I could still be in those left-hand rooms here. And there it is. There's the raft.
And there we have the raft. He was looking a little concerned at first, but able to make his way through. And Caracarn is giving another try at this Gleeok. And Rick is beelining for level 4. Now, Unfortunately for Rick, and well, Kara when he gets there too, is 4 and 9 are both going to be Wizrobes.
Here's the other question for you. You know at this point you're 83 point blah 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 percent to get silvers in 9. If you find the Triforce early in 4, do you take that gamble or do you risk searching 4?
If I find the Triforce early and I feel I'm okay on keys, I take the risk. If I'm down to 1 key, I'm going to item hunt anyway because I probably could make good use of the any key.
Yeah, especially at this point, the items you have left are any key, red ring, silver arrow. So none of them are going to be a bad decision.
Now, on Kara's side, the any key would probably not be a completely beneficial item. Rick is actually racking up the keys quite a bit in level 4 as well. So it looks like Rick really probably just wants to find the Triforce, if for no other reason than to just get the seed over with as soon as possible, too.
Oh, yeah. I definitely feel that pain.
Because we also have to remember that with the 80, in addition to the 83% chance, and Rick does just grab the Triforce and he's going to leave, but in addition to the 83% chance of silvers being a 9, there's also that 50% chance that they're not even needed.
And with that, Rick has picked up all 8 pieces of the Triforce, and he is going to be making his way up to the far northwest corner, which is going to house level 9. Caracarn still is in that monstrosity of a not quite sure what that is, level 7.
Decided to take revenge from the 4-head Gleeok on the lesser 2-headed variety.
I was about to try to figure out what Rick was doing, but he's warping over here to utilize the any roads. Caracarn fumbling around this room, seeing if he missed anything. Did not, though, but there's a Triforce. He's like, nope.
Now, the other unfortunate thing is, well, the path to 9 is littered with Lionels.
Alright, so we are here in Blackout level 9. And it's got the nice, soothing green color palette. Caracarn gonna go ahead and find the wand here, but oh, this 9 is very interesting. One way to go.
And had to spend bombs right away. Oh, there is a staircase there, though, so would not be surprised if Rick goes back and checks that out fairly quickly.
Well, this shutter door could actually tell us a lot, too. This is a tea room Rick's in right now.
There's your key.
So yeah, Caracarn is going to be faced with a decision here. Does he go back to 2 with his arrows, or does he go and dig in 8? The correct answer, at least in my mind, is you go to 2. It's a whole lot easier to search. Oh, look at that! Ganon's required. Zelda's right above the start screen.
At least it is very easy access to Zelda.
Well, we now know where that is, and hey, look, that staircase takes you right above Zelda.
Okay, so we found all the rooms around Zelda. Now we need to find the rest of the pieces to the puzzle. And Rick is going to have to follow a very linear path for right now because he only has one bomb left. And of course, we know because we have not seen
finding
any
the
helpful
100th
hints yet.
secret?
Nothing's.
3 rupees short of his boomstick.
Yeah, he probably grabbed that knowing that that would at least get him closer. Now, luckily for him, it was on the very, very high side of the large secret.
Yeah, at this point, Caracarn's definitely playing for the grinding strat. I don't. There you go. He has his
210 rupees. So this becomes very interesting all of a sudden because Rick's going to have the advantage of being in 9 for a while. Caracarn's going to have the advantage of I've got a boomstick, which will allow him to light up every room.
Not to mention, it makes combat with Wizrobes a lot easier.
So Caracarn
Go
opting
pick
to.
up the boomstick first.
I disagree with that.
I would have just went into 2, grabbed the item out of there before heading up. But of course, he can always just whistle back to 2 as well.
Right, but I would have just got the item real quick, confirmed that I didn't have to go back into 8, grab the boomstick, restarted, gone to 4. Yeah, this room that Rick's in, for example, this is a pretty good room for that boomstick to help out because you pop out in a spiral staircase full of blue Wizrobes.
6 to be exact. Now, a lot of them, luckily for Rick, are grouped together, so he is able to escape that room without any damage, but unfortunately does not have any bombs, so is definitely subjected to a very linear path unless he can manage to bomb drop off of the frame perfect 1 sword strike. And does get the clip, but we do not have an item.
Caracarn keeps warping to the wrong locations here. I'm not sure what's entirely going on. Did Caracarn forget I think Caracarn forgot he didn't have the Triforce out of 4. I think he's trying to go to 9. Nope, he's just taking.
Way.
Nope, he's taking the back path.
Interesting to take that route to 4 instead of level 1.
He's getting his dungeons confused. He already got the item out of this one.
He may realize it and then elect to leave.
Yeah, he just realized it there.
So we still have Rick exploring, has not found the beast or the silvers yet, so still...
Well, it would help if we found the silvers first.
Yeah. Well, he could hear the beast.
Yeah, but Caracarn now with the boom stick here, definitely huge advantage, especially when he kills that Goma up north. I'm like, oh, hey, you're pretty. Rick getting a little scared of the Lamolas, and I don't blame him in the slightest. That's a scary room.
Yeah. The red ones are not that bad of a sight, but once you see those blue Lamolas, and the fact that they seem to have shuffled HP too.
They do qualify in the category of boss, don't they?
Yeah, just the top two segments. The beginning segments are normal enemies, but the top two segments do have the boss classification. But he elects to use the glitch that despawns the second one once you kill the first, and bypasses the Patra to continue forward.
All of the Patra. The character is going to give himself 6 keys. He's going to come across the Goma, which is going to block the raft. So this is good for him right now because he's going to get the item he's looking for. Unfortunately, he's going to have to be very careful. Only has 8 rupees with which to play.
And Rick does take another death. There's the raft for Caracarn, and he will be able to pay and go back to start.
All right, so Caracarn going to make his way into 4. Only have you one way to go. Again, the good thing for him is it's going to be a pretty quick Triforce to find here. Rick found it fairly quickly, so Caracarn with the aid of the boomstick is going to be able to find it equally as quickly.
Rick once again is on beeping strats and takes a quick death to these Wizzrogues. Kara's gonna have quite the potential to make a lot of quick headway towards level 9. Rick electing to opt out of level 9 right now, and
He's buying potion. He get the letter.
yep, which we already knew was a candle.
Based on the maps. Fortunately, Rick's not finding the potion shop. Finds the...
And the problem with that is that puts him out of range for potions now. Or almost out of range. I think the blue potion can go as low as 20. Fred will probably correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Blue potion is 48 normally, so if variable is plus or minus 20, 28 is the lowest it can go.
48, yep. Yeah, it's 48.64, that's right. So Rick is 5 rupees out of range.
He could always go get the final heart container on the raft island.
Does get bombs off that one fire kill that he did get.
And Caracarn confirming to us that silvers are in 9 by picking up the, guess what, more meat.
But of course. And Rick taking a trap death, because why not?
Caracarn does have to be careful, though. He is sitting at half a heart. Well, make that a heart and a half if he can get up there. Which he does.
No, I know my answer to this. But if you're Kara, do you go and grab the heart from the raft spot and go try for magic sword?
Me? No,
Yeah, if you're a Kara,
I go over there and grab the potion.
Because remember that Kara does not have white sword right now.
True, but I would feel much safer in a Blackout 9 with potion and boomstick than I would with magic sword, boomstick, and no potion. Although, don't get me wrong, the thought of going ahead and getting the heart container to give myself a pretty good chance at mags is definitely going to cross my mind.
And Rick smartly resetting the room after killing a couple blue wizards, so at least now when he goes through is not going to have to deal with 6 of them every single time. Might make it a lot easier and will eventually allow him to go left from that room and possibly explore that way.
And left could be the key here. Caracarn coming to the conclusion that, wait, there's other ways I can go.
Laws, Rick has the white sword right now. He found it in level 8.
Yeah, so Rick, stabbing the hell out of this lever, going to go ahead and build his count up. Looks like he's building to a fairy count.
Let's get the fairy drop, and it's going to search the reverse C, and we have another passage.
To the Wizrobes.
Oh, yes, that same passage.
To death.
Fortunately, bodying into those wizards is not what you want to do. You actually have to be very careful. You don't want to trap yourself in that narrow passage area where you have no ability to avoid the beams. So he's gonna have to be very careful at how he approaches that room.
Yeah, that room, this seed in general, this is why, I'm kind of, seeing all the seeds have been playing out so far. I'm super happy I don't have to deal with any of these. I'm not gonna lie. I don't envy any of you guys in the slightest. Kara opting to go ahead and take a try with 11 hearts. Unfortunately, is not able to get the sexy meat. Now, the other unfortunate thing here is because of the magic shield, it does make screen wrapping a little more difficult.
Speaking of magic shield, that is another advantage that Caracarn is going to have in level 9 that Rick does not, and that's the ability to block those wizard beams.
Yeah, okay, so at this point, Krim, the question I have for you is, does Rick's exploration of 9 trump the advantage that Caracarn has with the boomstick?
My suggestion would be no, and that's just because the progress Rick has made has continuously been thwarted by his deaths, so his exploration is actually not as deep as it could be. I do guarantee whoever finds Silvers, finds Ganon, kills him, and gets to the girl, or, well, in Rick's case, gets Ganon, the other person will probably not forfeit.
Did you just John Madden me there?
No. because it's not a guarantee. I mean, they may be prideful and want to continue on, but I can guarantee that
Interesting.
both runners are completely
Interesting note for Caracarn here. He finds a bomb hole up in that tea room, so he can explore a little bit differently than Rick can. It's just Zelda's room, no big deal. Oh wait, it's Zelda's room, so Zelda ain't in her own room.
Well, we already knew that because you can access her from above and the right.
I know, I was being a wise guy. Caracarn didn't know that, and now he does.
Well, Kara should have known that because, well, that shutter door didn't open.
You are not helping me.
I never do. But Kara is struggling with this ladder that finally gets it to get back over, while Rick takes the death in his least favorite room.
Spiral Wizrobes.
And the fact that that room seems a little on the side of necessary is even worse.
Yeah, so Kara gonna go ahead and continue to blast his way through 9.
Taking a lot of unnecessary hits on those traps.
And we have the creepy old man asking us which way to the One Direction concert. Don't you know they broke up, old man?
The fact that you knew they broke up, TG, is something.
I have a sister who's a freshman in high school who is obsessed with One Direction, so I also know that coming up here in September is Harry Styles' solo concert tour. Oh, God, somebody help me.
Thor can mute him. So, Rick picks up his large secret, is now going to head, it looks, towards buying a potion. Does fill up on health as well. And look at that. Buy one, get one for a rupee.
And also look at that. Rick's not the only one dying in said spiral room. This seed is just ridiculous. So, Krim, at what point do I yell at you for rolling this?
You don't have to yell at me because I'm sure you will.
But yeah, I definitely agree at this point is the first one that Dot done, I would expect a pretty simultaneous Dot forfeit.
I wonder if either runner has it pre-typed. The Dot
see, what I would do is I would have Dot done pre-typed, and I would have Dot forfeit on my copy-paste. But Caracarn is going to go ahead and use that boom.
Arrows to kill the Lionels, hoping to get himself back up to full health, and takes a bop instead. Yeah, see, the thing is, Sports Hefe, I think Ganon plays Zelda right where he did for a false sense of hope for the runners.
Here's your prize, but can you get to her?
I think they'll also be sick of that message, how many times they've walked past it.
Yeah. I'm already sick of the message. But at this point, is it appropriate to reset the over-under to 50 on the death count?
No, I already took my bet.
Yeah, well, I know.
In on the 25.
Thankfully, there was no actual monetary compensation.
So beyond the obvious of Blackout TG, what do you think are going to be the runners' least liked things about the seed?
Is all the dying an option?
Well, that could equate to Gleeok or Wizrobes or Manhandla on Kara's side.
I mean,
Rick's
I would
already using one of his meds. Luckily, he got that one for the penny.
yeah, I would say by far Sprite Shuffle.
And Rick, I think, accidentally uses his last potion. Wanted to be on the wand and was on potion instead. So he is now out of potions and not much further than he has been so far.
But gets a very, pardon the pun, timely clock here.
Yeah, a clock is really good for that room.
Yeah, no, I think at this point we can retire the nickname of Great Equalizer and just refer to this 9 as the 7th Circle of Hell. Can we do that? Can we get away with that?
Possibly. I am actually kind of disappointed this 9 isn't located at the grave, though.
Why?
Rick is using all of his bombs up to take out this room. And he dies.
Why are you upset this 9 isn't at the grave?
So Caracarn is going to bury up, it seems. And make his way back over to 9, it looks like. So he just went for full health. Rick is just hoping for something to finish the seed out for him.
At this point, the best way I can describe the seed is I'm commentating on it. I haven't had to go through the hell and the torture that our players have, but at this point, I want to take a shot.
Even with all your knowledge, what time do you think you would get on the seed?
Even knowing where everything is, I would still go 2 hours.
Another death in the lovely spiral room for Rick. Now, if I were Rick, one thing that I would really start considering doing is clearing out all but one of those Wizrobes and setting the room to that. That way, every time he enters that room, all he has to worry about is one Wizrobe to dodge instead of 6.
Yeah, Caracarn doesn't necessarily have to worry about that because he has the boomstick, which makes clearing through those a lot easier. But at this point, for those of you who have turned in late, who are turning in and seeing a bunch of dark, and you're not quite sure why is there a meat on the A button, why is there a power bracelet on the B button? So, I think at this point we're 2 hours and 5 minutes in. You heard me right, 2 hours and 5 minutes in. We have Sprite Shuffle, we have Blackout, and we have an absolute pain in the Tushka.
For what it's worth, since we haven't done one yet, we are now 2 hours in, and I think this is a great opportunity to give you a rundown of where all the items were.
Here's the question, do you have notes?
I do not, so I'm going to try to do this from memory.
All right, because I was going to do the same thing, but by all means, go ahead, my friend.
Okay, so our Armos item was the magical boomerang, our coast ladder item was the red candle. Our white sword item was the power bracelet. Level 1 had the magic shield, which confirmed boomstick for us, and the recorder. Level 2 had the raft. Level 3 had the ladder. Level 4 had the any key. Level 5 had the regular boomerang. Level 6 had the bow. Level 7 had the wand. Level 8 had the heart container and the white sword. Level 9 has the red ring and the silver arrows.
That all
How
was
was that?
very good. Now here's the big question. Can you go back and do it again, but this time confirm what all the sprites were shuffled to?
No.
Oh. You're no fun. But anyway, we have got both of our runners who were in level 9 are now instead no longer in level 9. They're leaving to get health and other... I was going to say supplies, but I just had a stampeding
towards the raft.
Yep, but he's probably either going to go to pick up the heart container for the magic sword or get the potion. And Krim, Pain Train makes a pretty good point. You would have had to just say meat for 90% of the items and you'd have been right.
It was the 2 items in 1. And we do have a potion get for Kara. Which, at this point, I probably do agree with getting the potion. You already know that 9 is hell on steroids, and you want to try to just get through it, and Magic Sword isn't really going to help you that much more than the Boomstick already does. So I probably do agree that Potion's probably the better choice there.
And not to spoil anything, but the update I'm getting from the other side, the other match taking place right now, is they got everything we got here, plus swordless.
So basically a replica of the Jammy Breasticle race that kicked this all off.
So, pardon the coughing there. Has there been a brackets round that hasn't had blackout?
I do not know for certain. I'm sure RC will agree with me wherever he is, but I hope I don't.
No, for you guys, you're going to get vanilla first quest overworld with everything it's supposed to be in 0 HP enemies.
Okay.
Oh wait, I already had that seed.
And Fred leaving us a clip in chat. And it has the most lovely name. It is Seductive Healthy Titan. Come on, bruh.
You know, the best way I could describe this seed at this point is this is the seed that would be the first employee in the lunchroom and microwave fish and not tell anybody. I mean, we've all had that one person who's gone into the employee break room and was the first one in to microwave last night's baked haddock, and we all know what happens when you microwave fish. And if you're the person who does that, then shame on you. Shame on you. But, you know, I think that's the best way I can describe this seed right now.
No, this 9 is getting to the point of being that employee, but also the one who then leaves to go to the bathroom, comes back an hour later forgetting he already cooked it and microwaves it again.
Oh, God. No, no, no. Ugh.
So Rick finally exits the spiral staircase room with 1 wizrobe in it. So that should at least make that trek a little easier for him. And on CaracarnVI's side, we do have the silvers.
Thank all of everything. We have silver arrows. Now we just have to find Ganon.
Oh,
But,
yeah, there's still that, isn't there?
Yeah, there's still that. But Krim, you remember Nightmare on Elm Street, right?
Everything about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna say Ganon at this point is Freddy Krueger. Once we kill him, the nightmare will finally be over.
Yes. Hopefully not too much longer. Now, not to burst everyone's bubble, but just a friendly reminder that Caracarn does only have wood sword. So if
But-
Ganon does not have 0 HP, this might be an entertaining fight as well.
All I know is I have, me personally in this tournament, I have had all 3 of them. I have seen Ganon with 0 HP. I've had to fight Ganon with random HP. I didn't think that was a thing. I was sitting there going along, stabbing. I'm like, wait a second. I have wood sword and I've only hit him 12 times. Why is he dead?
Yeah, he can go down in random HP, but can't go up because, well, 15's the max.
Rick finds Zelda. I mean, Ganon. I mean, something.
And luckily that flash sort of gives you the hint of where or what room you're in. And of course, well, it's a square moat room, so.
And look at that.
That's
Rick
gonna make
confirms
everything
for us 0 HP Ganon.
So that's good news for Kara. The bad news for Kara is he's nowhere near Ganon.
So we now, up here, from our bird's eye view camera, have all of the information. The only problem is both of our runners only have 2/3 of that information.
So now we see the light at the end of the tunnel. The only unfortunate thing is there's a traffic jam ahead of us.
I thought you were going to say it was a rushing train. But yeah, that's funny. Remember that room that Rick was wasting all of his bombs in and then die on the last blue wizrobe?
Yeah, that was the room.
That's the Silver's room. Yeah. Good news is Caracarn has found Ganon.
It'll be even better news once he realizes it is 0 HP Ganon.
However, Hyrule Driver says, no way, no how. This seed. This seed.
Chat, it is very appropriate to go ahead and spam not like this since we do not have Hyrule Driver emotes. Very good clock get for Rick there.
This entire seed. And hey, the spiral room claiming yet another victim here.
I must say, TG, it is very calming to know that my internet not wanting to cooperate with me is not the top 15 worst things that happened during this race.
So how many of those are bad TGE puns?
None of those either. Everything is actually race related.
Oh my. Oh my.
So Rick is going the wrong way, heading away from the silvers.
He probably doesn't want to go back to that Wizard room unless he has to. Especially now with 2 bombs and 3 hearts, and I frankly don't blame him. Bam! Caracarn going, I should probably pick up this ladder. You know, things have gone crazy. Caracarn's like, no!
Fred, thank you for that great Lion King reference there. Or not Lion King, but Kung Pao, Enter the Fist Lion King reference.
It has been a long time since I've seen Kung Pao. That movie was funny. Caracarn doing himself some grinding to get himself up to the requisite, at this point, 51 rupees. Because he's going to grind for the 51 to get 2 potions. There ain't no doubt about that one.
As long as he doesn't get hit, at least he can force a 5 rupee.
Not if he keeps killing things with the explosion, he can't.
So that's going to be a force bomb.
Caracarn's like, we'll worry about it later.
And another death for Rick. This time in a diagonal room. That's kind of a bad room to walk into with traps there.
Yeah, I love the pause on Rick's side, like, why aren't you done, Kara? Why aren't you done?
That or he's contemplating like decisions. Hey, Caracarn making his way back over towards Ganon.
So the question is, will Caracarn make his way to Ganon before the level kills him, or will Ganon claim yet another victim?
Given the way the seed would go, and as horrible as it sounds, I'd be kind of disappointed if Ganon only got away with 1 kill.
He technically has 2 because Rick had to up A out.
Yeah, that's a forfeit, not a kill.
And oh yeah, by the way, Pat regards the Ganon. Oh, Patrick getting a quick bop in here. And this lever believes it can fly. It believes it can touch the sky.
Now, Kara can take 2 high roll drivers.
There we go. Kara super happy that it just 1 HP Ganon. Has to be ridiculously happy with that. And Kara's like, yeah,
And
thank
that will-
God. This is over.
That will finally do it.
The nightmare has ended.
but not before he gets eaten by like and gets his shield taken.
I think that's the last thing on his mind. There we go. That is going to do it. Caracarn going to finish first here with a time of 2 hours, 20 minutes, and 49 seconds.
Actually, do not have a forfeit by Ricky. So Rick is going to continue to play this out. Probably more for pride, he just invested 2 hours and 20 minutes of this into his into the seed. He might as well finish it.
Either way, this seed has just been bonkers levels of crazy.
So, yeah, look at Kara's side. And I guarantee Rick's isn't going to be any better. 33 deaths.
Wow. So yeah, I should have set that over under at 50. We'd have been fine.
Rick's sprite is different because Randomizer gives you the option to play as different enemies, different characters like the old merchant or Zelda herself, or even Trogdor. But so that will allow him to, just play as a different sprite. The gorillas are replaced with Link in this, so you'll see walking links where gorillas would normally be. And instead of trying to rescue Zelda, he's trying to rescue Ganon, and he does that by killing Zelda. And also, because of all their hard work in this seed, definitely give these two guys a follow. RTG can do it first, but definitely give these two guys a follow. Amazing streamers in their own right. Rick does a lot of different stuff. He does a lot of randomizers as well as Tetris and Dr. Mario. Caracarn is quite the runner of a bunch of different Final Fantasy games, so definitely give the two guys a follow, and continue to support them, and give Random Massacre a follow too, because these guys do a great job over here with all the randomizers, not just Zelda, but Final Fantasy, Mario, all those randomizers. So definitely give this channel a follow as well.
And if you're feeling so inclined, I guess I can be the sellout here. You can also give Crim and I a follow if you really want to. I mean that just if you're feeling really generous.
And also, TG will type one more Twitch address into the stream. Definitely give Dorkmaster Fleck a follow as well. He does streaming himself, but he has been the tech guy running all this stuff behind the scenes, doing an awesome job with the restream. So definitely give him a follow as well.
So that was quite a seed, wasn't it?
How's it going, Kara? Yeah, definitely one of the more interesting seeds we've seen. So I guess first question is, what was your least favorite thing about this seed?
Everything. Except for the boomstick. Okay, so like I can't even remember what all happened. I mean, so obviously unshuffled second quest overworld. So I went into one first. And so it took me, I don't know how many minutes it took me to realize that I'd picked up the magic shield in level 1. I just picked that up and I couldn't figure out what the heck I had picked up. I kept looking at my inventory. I was like, I didn't get anything. What was that? And then eventually I realized that I had a big shield. So, and then, well, a little bit later, like, I don't know if you saw that I bought something in the shop that had the book. I was trying to buy arrows. I was like, what are, it's like, are these things arrows? It turned out that I just bought another shield. I don't remember that, I didn't think that his shield would be on the right side of the shop. That was kind of strange. Like, it had book, and then I forget what the other one was in that shop.
Bait, book, and no, was it bait?
Bait, book, and shield.
Is that what it was?
I think the bait, or was it? Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, it was expensive. I'm pretty sure it was expensive bait.
Expensive bait.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Rick taking another death in the Silver Arrow room.
But yeah, that level 9 was weird. Like, the start of it, like, that's like the weirdest
Yeah, it was a very
start
linear
of level.
start, and then it just dropped you into the worst room imaginable with the 6 blue wizards in that spiral staircase room.
Yeah. Fortunately, with Boomstick and the magic shield, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But I still kept dying a lot. I mean, how many times did I had to leave and go heal and screen scroll practice all the way across back to level 1? It's, yeah.
Yeah, there is nothing good that I can say about this seed at all. However, I will say that from what we're hearing, you guys got the calmer of the 2 seeds tonight. Apparently the other match has everything you guys have, plus random HP, shuffle, and swordless.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So for all your hard work in this seed and your great finish in 9, you get rewarded with jam. How do you feel about that?
Well, if I get another blackout, then I'm probably toast. I might be toast anyway, but definitely blackout.
Yeah, these seeds have definitely been interesting so far.
Yeah, I made quite a lot of bad decisions in this, but I mean, the persisting for the ladder, I guess. I mean, I died so many times in level 3, but I finally I persisted on getting that item, and it turned out to be the ladder. So that was. I'm glad I actually did that.
Something else that actually cost both you and Rick quite a bit of time is as Rick finally gets to the silver, so he will be able to finish up here shortly. But you both persisted on that 4-headed Gleeok in 7 for quite a bit, looking for the item because of that being a double block room.
Yeah, that was really stupid. I left. It was like one hit from death, and I accidentally left the room. And then I died like another 3 times.
Yeah, that was a rough room. I think the Gleeok definitely was the MVP of this seed.
It shouldn't have been. Should not have been that difficult.
And Rick taking the death just south of Ganon's room, so he'll have to make his way back up there again.
Does he know that Ganon's there? Because
yes,
I didn't.
He's actually already been in. Yeah, he's been in the room, and he's also already verified that it's 0 HP. So he has all that knowledge. It's just getting there and actually getting the hit in.
Yeah, I can't believe I actually died to Ganon when he only took one hit. Like, I couldn't even hit him once. I already had the silver arrows, and I died before I could even hit him once.
Rick, unfortunately, trying to set up for a fairy, or a bomb, either one, and then on the way out gets clipped by the fireball or recorder or something.
Yeah, he actually would have a hard time getting that fairy anyway because he doesn't have bombs, so he doesn't have the guaranteed kill. He'd have to hope to get that frame perfect input of the sword and the one at the same time to kill that fire.
Well, it could have killed him with the silver arrows.
Oh yes, he does have silvers now. That's right.
Rick playing a very good job of the patience game, getting that Wizrobe to go past him without taking a hit. A very nice execution there. However, a Wizrobe beam to the face, not as good execution.
No, and that's like by the pixels right there.
The Goma blocked raft was a nice trick. Also,
Yeah, that was rather friendly.
so I'm glad that I did buy the wooden arrows, even though I spent way more than I should have buying the freaking shield first. That's what I hate about Sprite Shuffle, is like trying to figure out what the shop items are.
Yeah, a lot of that you'll have to start depending on like color palettes and prices, which even I admittedly forget to even take the prices into account sometimes.
Oh yeah, we both fully thought that you were purchasing arrows there, and like, wait, nope, that was just another shield.
It could. I'm pretty sure, based on the color. I mean, it could have been. I mean,
Right.
I should have remembered that the shield looked like that. But then again, the arrows could have been.
Yeah,
could have been the same.
The arrows could have been that color. The only thing is the arrow price range is only 60 to 100.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh.
because they're normally 80, and shop items will be plus or minus 20.
Oh, okay, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking I had seen arrows higher than that, but I guess not.
We do have Rick continuing his way through. Looks like he's trying to get his way over towards Ganon, and hey, there's a clock. Looks like he was trying to get some hearts from those Vires there. Unfortunately, was not able to get any, so he's going to have to make his way back to Ganon and dodge the Patra.
Wonder why he wouldn't use the arrows there then.
He might have forgotten. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like I did.
Yeah.
That's another mistake. I kept forgetting that I had certain items, like the magic boomerang. I could have been killing gels early on with the magic boomerang. Instead, I was trying to sword them blindly.
Oh, Rick barely been able to make it in here, and let's take a look and if he can manage to get that one hit in on Ganon. Does get the hit in. Does manage to get the hit in. So Rick does manage to get in there and not die. Does take a fireball to the face, but does manage to finally kill, no, in this case, Zelda.
So Rick will be finishing here very shortly. He just has to take a very short trek to Ganon to restore chaos to Hyrule. And there he goes. And that will do it. Rick finishes with a time of 2 hours, 35 minutes even. It's a very good job to Rick for being persistent on that.
So I was really behind going into 9 then, huh? I really had no idea.
Yeah, you still had, I think, you were exploring 7. You had to grab the raft out of 2 yet, and then find or go to level 4 as well. But having Boomstick, I think, definitely did give you an upper hand once you enter level 9, because it allowed you to make your way through, killing enemies faster and having quicker exploration without having to worry about bombs.
Right.
So I did hear the second ding from Discord. That means Rick has joined us as well, and I think the only proper way to describe it is just that bleeping seed.
Yeah, I can agree. It's not the first time that my opponent ended up buying the the boomstick, and I ended up not buying the boomstick, and definitely would have helped me on that level 9.
Yeah, definitely a rough level 9. Rough seed all around. I mean, there is absolutely no good thing about that seed.
Fortunately,
And since you're both in Discord now, I want to sincerely apologize for dealing that.
Could we please get the admins to sack Crimson Avix of his seed dealing duties, please, right away?
I'm an admin. I'll sack myself of it.
And furthermore, torture him by dealing his seed in his next match.
Oh, I'll take care of that. Don't worry.
The only thing I can say about that seed is I played it poorly. I played it poorly and let the deaths consume me.
No, I played poorly too. I had one more death than you did. Yeah, so I found the wand. I think I only had like 50 something rupees when I found the wand, but I hadn't gotten the big secret yet. So I found that and it was like, what, 149?
Oh, yeah.
So then I just farmed a few more rupees after that.
That's what I should have done. Instead, I ended up buying potions over and over again. Like, I can't really say much else about that seed. It's done. It's over with. And, you know, I knew my play over the last few days in these randomizer seeds was going to get me into trouble, and this was the case of that again tonight. And this goes to show you that if you have a lot of deaths, you're taking yourself out of the race. That seed would have been so much faster if I ended up clearing that 3 blue wizrobe room the first time I was in there. Instead, they killed me.
Yeah, I took a lot of really bad deaths. A lot of really costly deaths. Especially in like level 3 with that forced horizontal shoot with the dark nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did that one early. Like after level 1, I was doing that one.
Yeah,
and
same here.
I persisted. I died I don't know how many times, but I finally made it to the ladder.
And I knew this was the kind of race where I could have had a better shot of winning if I just controlled myself and maybe thought about getting some defense, but you know, in the long run, it is what it is.
The thing about defense, though, is, you know, it's second quest overworld, so
Yeah.
second quest overworld and blackout, so it's like I kind of want to save money for bomb upgrades and or boomstick.
Yeah, I should have realized when I saw the bomb upgrade for 100 that it was only going to be the 4. And then part of me was panicking because I wasn't finding a candle because I needed to still get into level 8. And I was like trying to remember, where's that one candle shop that is a bomb accessible? And then I found on the coast, oh, there's the red candle. I mean, you know how we finish a seed like that off?
By burning it.
By burning it, deleting it, and never thinking of it ever again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame that I'm out of the tournament because of a bad seed like that, but I knew my combat was really, really bad the last few days, and there was not much I could do to help save me over there. I will say it's always nice when you come out of a staircase into a shoot room not a shoot room, a spiral staircase with a whiz ropes firing at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as we said, that definitely was not anywhere close to the realms of friendly. I can't imagine anyone who would sadistically want to play that for fun. And I mean, unfortunately, it is the type of seeds that we're seeing a lot, and that scares me for my race on Saturday. So, I mean, I definitely have to give you props, Rick, because pretty much once we hit the hour 45-minute mark, our assumption was as soon as one person hit dot done, the other person would follow immediately with the dot forfeit, but you stuck it out and made sure you finished the seed. So, I mean, I got to give you props for that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't about ready to give up on that seed, although there was a piece of me that was about ready to do so and just say, okay, where are the bleeping silver arrows now? Like I said, I explored way too much of that level 9 and let 3 blue whiz ropes have their way with me. And then once I got towards the late part of that, there was no way I was leaving that dungeon because I had gotten that spiral staircase down to that one blue whiz rope.
Absolutely.
That's just the way I wanted it to, and leaving the dungeon means I get them all back. But congratulations to you, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Yep, thanks.
And just hope that we don't get another seed like that again.
Yeah, I hope not.